Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's Down and Dirty is a continuation of our kind of how to start a dirt business series. Today I want to talk about how do you go and market. But before we even get into how to market, I'm going to tell you the best piece of business advice I can give you. Don't ever stop marketing. I know a lot of us get into the boat and it's very easy to do. This was the mistake I made in my first business. I actually had a business way back in the day that I totally failed at, and that's how I learned this very, very valuable lesson. We all get into this mentality where we're like, gonna go pound some pavement, we're gonna sell some jobs, and then we get our work schedule booked out by a month or two, and then we're like, hey, we don't need to market anymore. I'm totally overwhelmed with work. And we put our head down and we bury ourselves in our work for the next 2 months. And then about a month and a half in, we suddenly look up and we go, oh, I have no more work in the pipeline. The number one piece of advice I can give you is marketing needs to be your number one focus. That is the driver of your business. If you don't have work in the pipeline, it's just a matter of time until you run out of work and you fail. You fold because you don't have money. So market, 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 market. Now, for the topic of today, how do you market? There's a lot of ways to go about this, and we can spend a lot of money on it or we can spend a little bit of money on it. So let's see here. The first one I want to say is get some business cards made up. 100% get some business cards made up. You can go online to Vistaprint. You can go to a number of printing options and get them for really cheap. And then start sprinkling them around. I mean, literally, you can go into neighborhoods. If you're in the landscaping industry, you can go start sprinkling business cards in neighborhoods. Maybe get some flyers made up. They're relatively cheap, especially if you just do black and white on some decent colored paper. That's a really easy way to just pound some pavement, get your name out there, and get some calls coming in. Another way to do it that's going to cost a little bit more money is to get into Facebook marketing. Now, Facebook marketing is absolutely effective. You can get lots of jobs off of Facebook marketing. The one downside to Facebook marketing is you're very limited in the demographics you can kind of drill down into. What are demographics? That's a big word and a lot of people aren't necessarily familiar with it. Demographics are all of the information about me. My age, my income range, whether I'm male or female, what my occupation is, what kind of neighborhood I live in. Am I out in the country or am I can't talk. Am I in a subdivision? All of this is demographic information. It's information about the individual. The problem is Facebook's very limited with that information. Now, I'll tell you a secret. LinkedIn, believe it or not, I know a lot of us dirt guys are not on LinkedIn. But a lot of us dirt guys, if you think about it, we're targeting wealthy people, right? We need people with money that can afford to pay us to move dirt around for them. And most wealthy people, let's be honest, aren't going to move their own dirt, so they need us. That's where LinkedIn comes in. If you don't have a LinkedIn, absolutely set up a personal LinkedIn. You don't have to have a super professional suit and tie photo. No, just put you a nice photo up where it's clear to see your face. Get your personal profile set up, and then you may have to Google it. LinkedIn doesn't make it the easiest to find, but you can start a business page. Start a business page. Get a banner picture up. Make it look decent. It doesn't have to be magical, but make it look decent. Get your stuff all set up. Start filling it out with pictures of jobs that you've done in the past. And then what you can do is LinkedIn, because of the way the platform works, LinkedIn is really effective with marketing data. With targeting demographics, LinkedIn is like the mecca. It's awesome because we're all on there to find jobs, more or less, right? It's the business professionals version of Facebook, which means LinkedIn knows not only what company I work for and roughly what income bracket I'm in, but they also know what position I am. Whether I'm CEO, CFO, COO, maybe I'm just an upper level executive, all of that information is in LinkedIn, which means we get to use that information when we drill down to who we want to market to. So I can, if I want to, I could set up a filter on LinkedIn with my marketing where I only want to target people in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I only want to target people that are over the age of 27. I only want to target people that have a executive management or mid-level management position. I don't want any of the bottom tier people. I can hyper zoom in on this group of people I want to market to. And then you can spend your marketing dollars very, very effectively on those people. So that's a great marketing platform. Another thing, you've got small business organizations that you can become a part of. Now, I will be honest, I have dabbled in these in the past, and these are really geared more towards the, insurance people or car dealerships or stuff like that. It's really never been really effective for earth movers because most of those small business network organizations, let's face it, they're just not part of our world, right? So that is another option that you have. So another really effective way to market, relatively low cost. Let's say you're in a pretty ritzy neighborhood, you're doing a job, and you may want to drum up a little more work there. Everyone in that neighborhood's already watching what you do. So first of all, always do quality work. Don't skimp. Don't do a poor job. Clean up your mess in the street. Make sure that you're doing a nice job on your job site. Now, you can go very affordably get some of those little yard signs printed up. Believe it or not, those are really effective because everyone in that neighborhood is peeking out their window to see what the neighbors are doing, which means by default, they're looking at what you're doing. And then they have that conversation. Janice, we've really been thinking about digging in that pool. Maybe we should give these guys a call. Or, that retaining wall in the back is looking a little rough. Maybe these guys would be willing to fix it. So the conversation's already happening. So you can do two things. You can put one of those little yard signs. Obviously, check with your customer before you put a yard sign in their yard. Don't be disrespectful and just throw it out there under the assumption, ask. And 9 times out of 10, the homeowner's going to be fine with it. So that's one way, is put a little yard sign out there. The second way is, and I actually got this piece of advice from Matt Totten himself from our Sweat and Grime podcast, simply take off early one afternoon. Cut out around 3 and go around and start knocking on doors with your business cards and let everyone in the neighborhood know that, hey, this is who we are. This is what we do. If you guys are in the market for some of our services, we're already in the neighborhood. I can give you a free estimate. Just let me know. No pressure. You leave the conversation there. Don't pressure the customer that I need to come in your backyard and I need to give you an estimate right now, because you will absolutely creep them out and you're going to lose business. But if it's a very low pressure, hey, we're in the neighborhood, let me know, and we'd be more than happy to swing over and at least give you an estimate. Now you're not wasting a bunch of your time driving all over. You're already in the neighborhood. It takes you 2 minutes to walk over to their house, spend a half hour with the customer and get them a quote. And if you do that 5, 6, 7 times in a neighborhood, now all of a sudden you might have 2 or 3 jobs pop out of it. It's a really, really effective marketing tool. So this is literally dipping the toe into the marketing world. I mean, there are so many avenues you can use to market your dirt company. The biggest thing is marketing is one of the most important things. It should be one of the primary focus points of starting, especially a new company. It's one thing once you've established yourself, it's not quite as critical and crucial that you pursue marketing, but I always recommend you do. But once you've established yourself, word of mouth starts coming into play a little more and it's not as critical. But for a new company, marketing is everything, and be prepared to spend some money on it. Don't skimp. Now, I'm not saying go throw your entire budget at marketing, but at the same time, wanting to keep your marketing budget next to nothing will not get you jobs. You're going to really, really struggle. So actually go throw $500 or $600 at marketing once a month, maybe once every other month, depending on how many jobs you have flowing in. You have to keep that pipeline full, because otherwise you fail. That is absolutely how a lot of businesses fail, is they just don't keep work coming in the pipeline. So as always, I hope this has been helpful. If you have questions about this, feel free to reach out and contact me, and I'd be more than happy to have a conversation with you. My email is contact@dieselandironproductions.com. Don't hesitate to reach out. So I hope this has helped. You guys have a good one, and we will catch you guys on the next Down and Dirty.